her lie about an autism diagnosis. You know, she said he was diagnosed
I told them that I would
in
have my
2023
my
February.
do that. That I would not let CPS touch them, but I would have them tell me that I would have to go to my doctor, and I would do that. I did
Autism
tell
category is currently not a
Did I not do it?
concern.
Yeah,
Right.
I did. 100%.
You know, you can't pump him full of sugar from the time he wakes up and expect him to sit still and color. I'm good, Lou. How are you doing?
Of course not. Of course not. They only told you that part, which again, that's the
Right.
problem that we're falling into here. Everyone, just with the clip.
Isn't that
of
weird?
McDonald's.
She claims that it's a
It's making us
spectrum and
look like we're not feeding
every
them. They
child
took
is
clips.
different. While that may be
You guys,
correct,
that's why everyone just
every child is different. However, there is standardized testing and looks like this.
I don't know how to tell
It's
ya.
not a concern. And if you did have it,
I do.
you typically have 25 to 40 hours of therapy that you do a week, you know. This woman's on here on TikTok for 12 to 20 hours a day. And her severely autistic child isn't being taken to any types of therapy. Right? Hi, Fuzz. So, I mean, are you either Munchausen by proxy here, Gabs, or just neglecting to get your son the therapy he needs? Inquiring minds want to know. Thank you, Patty. Hi, Nana. Right? But this, on this little test in here, it says autism's not a concern. See down here? I know it's cut off a little bit, but it says autism, blah, 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 category is currently not a concern. What's she scream every day?
I know.
One of us is lying.
I know.
Wonder which one it is.
Let me just prove something that they're gonna do. Watch this. I usually don't do this, but you know what? Fuck it.
She's such a...
Watch what they do.
I don't know who they are. Oh, she's battling so she can continue to make more money than what she's allowed to make a month. Collect that fraudulent SSI, right? Did you see, guys? Good morning, or good evening, Crazy Mom. He's not collecting because he's actually autistic. He's collecting because she's so neglectful and unfit that she's delayed him purposely. Strange. But she's
Coco, stop.
a good mother, right? Hey, Gabby, why isn't he in any types of therapy?
Oh, come on.
I mean, now that he's out of school, and he was only getting speech at school, are you going to let him regress? Why aren't you getting any therapy, Gabby? Because I know when you're dealing with an autistic child, the parents, they teach you too, so that you know how to handle your kid. You know, and again, 25 to 40 hours is typical for therapy for a severely to mildly moderate autistic child. Yeah, we see you do none of that. And we know you don't like ABA because, boy, we can't correct that behavior because then you don't have a freaking excuse for the feral behavior. And he's only feral because you feed him sugar from the time his eyes pop open, if he gets fed at all. I mean, you can't even let the kid have his own plate. Hi, sweet panda.
Who?
Isn't that weird? And she wonders how we get all this. Because she puts it all out here. Yeah, you can't see it all. What it says is, down here, I don't know if you can see my pointer. It says, autism,
Not really want to do.
blah, blah, category is currently not a concern. Hi, Bird Dirt.
Daddy, what?
And this was when it was in March of 2024 when she got these results, but she claimed he was diagnosed in Illinois back in February of 2023. And with a child younger than 5, you do have to have them tested more than once. Because even though they may test positive at one time, they might not the next. No, Alex, he doesn't. According to Florida Diagnostic, this place up here, he absolutely, it's not a concern. And Alex, sorry, I'm not going at you, but if he was autistic, why don't we see her like any other autism mom driving back and forth to take their kid to therapy, right? Minimum 25 hours a week. She can't be doing that because she's spending 12 to 14 hours a day here on TikTok. So, is it Munchausen or neglect? That's my big question. It's one or the other. One or the other. He doesn't get any occupational therapy. And she says she doesn't like ABA therapy. Well, there's also, what's that called? It's a developmental play therapy. Jasper, I think, is the joint attention symbolic play engagement and regulation therapy. If she doesn't like APA, why isn't he in that? Because in Cape Coral, Florida, where she's located, they have plenty of resources. I'll post that. So, again, while it is a spectrum and every kid's different, it's a standardized test, the ADOS2. And all she can supply us with is this paperwork here that says it's not a concern or outdated medical coding. And we've already proved her to be a pathological liar. So, neglect, Munchausen. Neglect or Munchausen? You tell me. She's battling because she wants to make sure she loses that SSI. Again, he's only getting that not because she has autism paperwork, because you can see here she doesn't. He's getting it because he's got a speech delay. But Gabby's allergic to the truth. Hi, Dixie. Hang on, there's some that talks about his autism. Oh, this one, let me show you. This is when she's trying to prove to us.
What?
This is the day we got the paperwork. Let's start over so you can see it. See, she's reading from that same paragraph I just told you. When she's trying to say autism spectrum disorder, that's above the paragraph. Because if you look down here, she's reading up here where she told this place that he had autism and had been diagnosed. And this is her proof that he's autistic, y'all. The same paragraph, a little bit further down. Pay attention. We'll go slow. See, autism category is currently not a concern.
All right, have a good one, honey.
Okay, but listen to what she says.
Autism spectrum disorder.
Oh, God.
Oh,
No.
oh, oh. What? What in the butt? What in the butt?
Whoa, Nelly. I don't want nothing in my butt. But I'm confused again. And could you, once again, please explain to me a couple of things? Okay? Let's take a gander at this paperwork. The exact same paperwork that you just stated says he has autism. But if you continue reading that paper, Gabby, let's see what it says. What do you know? It says a doctor in Illinois diagnosed him with autism spectrum disorder. But after being evaluated, and based on their interview, they didn't think autism spectrum disorder was a concern at this time. However, they did think that he showed some developmental delays and some language impairment. But I mean, y'all have problems pronouncing words, so no wonder, right? And you see, right, Beachbound, but she's totally wrong. He doesn't have it. She was reading up here where she told the testing facility that a doctor in Illinois had diagnosed him with it. After their testing and screening, autism is currently not a concern.
No,
But she really thought she ate something there.
all the haters went.
She thinks everybody knows where she lives because she's actually not that fucking important. Isn't that weird?
I'm good. How are you?
She's so weird.
I'm 33.
Oh, okay. I just
We'll listen to her battle.
I know.
You do. You look really young. Like you can see.
Love my dog Sammy, you little snake.
3. I have a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
This will set her off. Right? She really hates that. But, you know, that's not stalking and harassment.
No, you're good.
Oh, he got rid of her. We better put that back up because I'm sure she will be crying like